All right, so welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming today. This will be a shorter class. We're only going to move for 30 minutes here today, and we will be doing some energy balancing. So we'll be doing some movement and some stillness and kind of just working out some of our whole body kinks so that by the end of this, we're feeling more regulated. So I am going to actually ask that you start this practice standing, which is a little unusual. I know we don't typically do that during our classes. We tend to start on the floor. But if you'll go ahead and come to stand, and then if you have 2 blocks or 1 block, whatever you may have, go ahead and put that in front of your feet here. And we're going to place them on tower height. So the highest height that our blocks will go. And so take a moment here and just step on your feet a little bit. I have my feet about hip width distance apart. So if I place my hands into 2 fists, that's approximately the distance of my feet. And then you can place your blocks just about a foot in front of you with them in alignment with your feet. And so rocking back and forth across your toes here, warming up your foot, just becoming acquainted with the bottom of the foot, spreading out through the toes, feeling the arch of the foot, maybe lifting a little bit, pressing into the heel. And then as you feel ready, go ahead and settle your feet down into the earth. And we'll extend out through the toes a little bit, maybe opening them nice and wide, thinking about rooting down. And then softening the knees just a little bit here, creating just a little bit of a bounce. Feel your feet press further down into the floor. And then with your next inhale, start to straighten up through your legs, feeling the front of your thighs firm. And find your hands traveling around the back of your body and feel your glutes firm slightly here, bringing your pelvis into a nice neutral position. And now we're going to continue the lifting action through the front of our body, drawing upward through our sternum, feeling that lift through our heart and the solar plexus, the space where our ribs meet at the front of the chest. And then allow your collarbones to open broad, pulling the shoulder blades together, and we'll release our arms down beside us to rest heavy. Your thumbs can point forward with the palms wide and relaxed, space between the fingers. If you want to give them a little wiggle, go ahead and do so. And now lastly here, we want to think about the very crown of our head drawing straight up, standing at our highest height here as that lift we created from the legs through our chest travels all the way up through the crown of the head. And now allow the front of your throat to be soft and the back of the neck to be nice and long. And as you stand in your highest height, begin to connect from the bottom of the feet through the crown of the head, noticing your body standing still and stable. You may want to take this opportunity to swallow, licking your lips, creating space between your teeth, and then allowing the tongue to lie broad in your mouth, releasing space between the roof of the mouth and the tongue. Feeling the throat soften. And if it feels comfortable for you, go ahead and allow your eyes to close or continue to look towards the horizon, allowing your gaze to soften. Notice if you can relax the tension between your eyebrows. Continuing to observe your body standing tall and strong, grounded in the floor, heavy through the feet, and lifted and light through the crown of the head. As your awareness of your body and space grows, take a moment here to notice the outline of your skin. Feel the boundaries of your own being. And imagine drawing all of your insides more towards your center, pulling everything in towards the midline and allowing you to stand just a little bit taller. As your comfort in this position grows, allow your breath to slow and smooth out, breathing however feels comfortable for you, in and out through the nose or mouth. Allowing each breath to fill and expand through the torso. Maybe observing the gentle rise and lifting of the spine as you breathe in, and the gentle softening and releasing as you breathe out. As we continue to stand tall and strong, breathing into our mountain pose, notice if there's a little voice in your mind wondering what happens next or anticipating. See if you can allow this voice to focus on your breathing, to focus on your body and space, increasing your awareness of yourself from the inside out. Continuing to reach down through your feet, let's use our next inhaling breath to extend our arms out, reaching straight up towards the ceiling, lifting through the fingertips, making a long line of energy from the bottom of the feet all the way through the tips of our hands. Taking another big breath in, reach a little higher, maybe lifting the heart slightly. And then as you exhale here, we're going to reach our arms out as we hinge from the hips, bending the knees, slowly coming down, reaching our hands towards our blocks. As your hands come down to the blocks, let the crown of your head drop straight down towards the ground. You can gently roll your head, yes and no here, creating length and space in the back of the neck, keeping the knees bent as much as you need in order to help release any tension through the lower spine. As you feel comfortable, maybe start to straighten one leg, bending the other knee a little bit more, rocking your weight slightly side to side, feeling the length through the back of the leg. Still allowing each inhalation to gently fill and expand, and each exhalation to gently release, creating a sense of surrender. When you feel ready, find stillness once more and see if you can fold just a little bit deeper. Using the breath to breathe along the ribs and the space behind your heart, between your shoulders, allowing the head to hang heavy and loose, using the weight of the head to pull more length into the spine. Pressing down into your feet here, tuck your chin towards your chest, pull your belly towards your back, and as you inhale, slowly roll up, stacking one vertebrae on top of the other, slowly coming to stand, shoulders return back over hips, and chin comes back parallel to the floor. As you reach the top, go ahead and roll your shoulders up and back. Going forward and backward, you can do one at a time in opposite directions if you like, whatever feels normal and natural. And then coming back to your mountain pose, reestablish your nice height here, the spine coming into alignment. And pressing into the feet once more, let's inhale, extend your arms out, reach up. Maybe this time at the top, interlace your thumbs, Pulling one thumb away from the other, you can continue to reach a little higher through the hands, helping to open some space in the armpits. Taking another breath in, lifting the heart, maybe finding a slight back bend. And then with your exhale, extend your arms out, reaching your heart forward and then down. Your hands can come to your blocks again here if that feels okay to you. If you're experiencing any pinching or squeezing in the pelvis, know that you can step your feet as wide as you, especially if you have anything going on there that is making it uncomfortable. And same thing here, we're just gonna bend the knees a little bit, allowing blood to flow to our brain, inverting here. You can shake the head side to side if that feels good. Now, as you feel comfortable, come back to center. We're going to inhale and lift ourselves up halfway, placing our hands on the blocks, drawing the crown of the head away from our hips, leaning forward slightly towards the front of our foot, feeling the ball of our foot really activate on the earth with the heels on the floor. And now from here, we're going to keep our right hand on our block. Take your left hand to your left hip and bend your right knee. Inhale again and think about reaching the crown of your head forward, aligning your shoulder directly over your wrist. And then as you exhale, slowly turn to look over the left shoulder. Imagine your elbow reaching back towards the wall behind you as the crown of your head reaches away from the base of your spine. Keep pressing the floor away from you. Take another big breath in. And then with your next exhale, bend both knees, slowly come back down into your fold. Your left hand can come back to your block. Release your head and take a little bit of movement here. And now repeat the same on the opposite side. So lifting into our half lift here, we'll inhale, pressing into our blocks, leaning slightly forward to the front of the foot. Extending through the spine here, finding lots of length. The back of our neck is parallel to the floor. And now we'll soften our left knee. Taking a big breath in, bringing the right hand to the right hip. Leaning forward, crown of the head reaching away. And then we'll exhale, slowly turn to look over your right shoulder. Taking your neck just as far into the twist as it feels comfortable. Keeping the left arm active here, pressing the floor away from you. Breathing in. And then exhaling, slowly unwinding. Right hand comes back down to the block. Bend your knees, drop your head down, reset. We have just one more. So finding a bend in your knees, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, belly pulls towards spine, slowly roll up. Feel your feet press down with strength. Slowly coming upright, vertebrae stacking on vertebrae. As you come to the center once more, you can return to your mountain pose. Your feet can stay where they are if they're comfortable. Resetting, finding your alignment. Checking in with your breath, noticing if your heart rate has changed, if your temperature has changed. Eyes can be closed or soft. See if you can slow your breath down a little bit more. Smooth it out. Let it be as easy as possible. Last set here, pressing down into your feet. Let's inhale, extend your arms out nice and wide. Stretch all the way through your fingertips, all the way up. And just like we did last time, let's hook the thumbs. This time the opposite thumb can be on top, so switch your hands. Inhaling to lift a little higher, reaching up through the heart, lifting the ribs. Take another breath in, maybe a little bit more of a back bend. And then with your exhale, we'll swan dive forward, fold from the crease of your hips, slowly come down, reaching towards your blocks. You can allow your knees to bend, head can hang, heart towards thighs. Let's take 2 more slow rounds of breath. Each inhale, gently lifting and finding length along the spine. Maybe you feel your heart pull slightly away from the legs. And then each exhale, allowing more space to be folded into, sinking deeper into the pose. With your next inhale, press into your hands, slowly lifting halfway up, reaching forward through the crown of the head. Press the floor.
Yes, I am.
Firm your core.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
And now when you're ready, you can step your feet a little bit wider if they're not already.
Hi, this is Christine Goodale over from Operations. I just got a call from Rob Sheridan, John Reed. Yeah, sure.
Sorry about that. So we'll take our feet nice and wide here, opening them as far as we feel comfortable. With your hands on your blocks, we'll take our time slowly dropping down into a squat. And now if it is not easy or natural for your body to drop into a squat with your heels on the floor, you can take one of your blocks underneath your bottom or both of your blocks underneath your bottom. If you want your hands on the floor, you can leave your hands on the floor. If squatting is something that feels really easy for you, you can do without the blocks at all if your body feels comfortable there. With your hands either on the floor or on your blocks or in a prayer position at your heart center, we're going to gently press our arms into our legs, lifting our heart up towards the ceiling as we let our sits bones drop into the floor or drop towards the floor or into our support. Continuing to lift through the crown of the head, work your way out towards the blade edge of your feet, continuing to open through the hips. If your hands are on the floor, you can keep your fingertips tented. Try not to collapse into the front of your chest. Press the heart forward. Let's take one more breath in. One more breath out. You can use your hands on the floor or on your blocks here. We're going to exit the pose the same way we entered, pressing into your hands. Squeeze your belly towards your back. Inhale and slowly come up. You can turn your heels out a little bit more here. And maybe just take a moment here to swish your hips from side to side. Your blocks can be at whatever height feels most comfortable for you, or just getting into the inner thigh and groin. All right. And so as you feel ready, you can use your hands on your blocks. We're going to take our knees to the floor first, and then take our bottoms down to the floor. Extending your legs out long in front of you. You can take your blocks to either side of your mat. We won't need them just yet here. We'll take our hands back behind us instead. And now pressing into your hands here, pull your toes back towards your shin. Press out through the heel. Imagine as though your legs were planted on the earth, just like they were in mountain pose before. And we want to keep extending through the length of our legs as we press down into the palms of the hands. Inhaling to lift up through the heart, increasing that length through the crown of the head. Feel the stretch in your biceps. Feel that openness through the front of your chest. Let's take one more breath in. And then as you exhale, maybe lift your chin just a little bit towards the ceiling. Breathe in again. And then with your exhale, slowly tuck your chin down towards your chest. You can release your legs, walking your hands back forward. Let's find our blanket underneath our bottoms here, or using a prop just to elevate your sits bones a little bit here. We want to be just a little bit higher. And now once you have yourself elevated, take your hands underneath your left leg and we're going to pull our left foot in so that it's about one fist width away from our right inner thigh. And now we're going to keep this right leg active. This is our standing leg in this position, toes pulling back towards our shin. And now with your left leg, you can use your left hand to hold onto your leg here, wrapping the forearm around the shin. Or if your flexibility allows, maybe your left elbow comes to the inside of your left knee. Now we're going to activate that left foot, pressing really firm down into the floor here. Inhaling to lift as high as we can through the crown of the head. And then with your exhale, we'll take our right hand back behind us, placing our fingertips in a tent on the floor, and then pressing the fingertips into the earth. Lift up tall here, opening through your side waist, turning your rib cage as far as you can towards the long edge of the mat. Pressing your arm into your leg and your leg back into your arm. Let's take one more deep breath in. And then with your exhale, slowly release your right hand, unwinding back towards the center, using both hands now to turn our left foot to the inside of our right thigh. Your blocks now can come beside your right leg at whatever height feels most comfortable for you. Inhaling to press down into your hands, your right leg can be soft. And then we'll exhale and we'll fold slowly over our right leg. Now, it's not necessary that you try to reach your foot. What we really want to think about here is drawing the heart forward and keeping the length through the spine. Shoulders can stay soft, elbows can stay back. Trying to keep the spine a little straighter here instead of rounding down. We don't have to try to reach our thigh or our foot. Try to just reach out of the hips. One more big breath in and out. Pressing into your hands, squeeze your belly towards your back. Chin can tuck slightly towards chest. Coming all the way back to center, using your hands to help. Our hands now come underneath the left leg and we'll pull our left knee back to center and straighten it out. Now, moving your blocks for just a moment here, bend both knees, and you may want to take your bottom off of your blanket and just swish your knees from side to side, rolling over your bum, getting a little massage for your booty. And then when you feel ready, we're going to do it on the opposite side. So you can stay where you are. I'm going to switch so it's easier to see. And so now our left leg is going to be our extended leg. We use both hands underneath our right leg to pull it in toward our chest. Ideally trying to take the knee over the heel. It's okay if it has to be further away, but wherever you feel like you can really plant that foot into the earth. Sitting about one fist width away from your thigh. Now, if you need to, it can also go out wider. If you feel any pelvic pressure, always give yourself that space, just taking it out. And now flexing through the left leg. This is our standing leg. Our right arm can hold around our right leg, maybe forearm to shin, or maybe right elbow to the inside of the right knee. Wherever you are, inhale and lift tall through the crown of the head. And then we'll exhale and slowly turn, dropping the left hand behind us, approximately in alignment with that left leg. Fingertips press into the earth, and this arm actively presses us away from the ground. Thinking about this left arm propelling us a little higher towards the ceiling. using each inhaling breath to lift through the spine and each exhaling breath to twist just a little deeper, even if just a little micro movement. Arm presses into leg, leg presses into arm, foot presses into floor, fingertips press the floor away. Finding these lines of energy. Let's take one more big breath in and out. Inhaling and then exhaling to slowly unwind, returning to center, taking your time. We'll use our hands now to turn our right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Sitting tall here, you can grab your blocks. Inhaling to lift up through the heart and then exhaling to fold to wherever it feels comfortable. And it may be different from one side to the other. Most of us don't have perfectly congruent legs. Keeping the shoulders down away from the ears so the neck stays long. Try to release any tension through the back of the neck and keep the jaw soft. Feeling that gentle twist in the lower spine here. Now let's prepare to exit. Pressing into your hands, chin can tuck slightly towards chest, belly towards back. Slowly coming back up to center, taking your time. Moving your blocks out of the way for now. You can use your hands to bring your right leg back to center and extend it out. And now, if you want to give your legs just a little shake, you can roll your feet, you can point your toes. And as you feel ready, we're going to slide forward off of our blanket, bending our knees, and you can move your blanket off to the side here as well, slowly lowering yourself down onto your back body. And now as you come to your back body, keep your knees bent about hip width distance apart or a little bit wider. Now we'll reach our fingers towards our feet. It's not imperative that they touch, but we want to think about our fingertips drawing our shoulders further away from our ears. Make sure that the back of your head is stable on the floor and try not to turn your head at all as we come into this next pose. Keeping the shoulders braced underneath the heart and the feet and hands strong on the floor. We'll inhale and exhale. And then with your next in-breath, squeeze your hips up towards the ceiling, drawing your inner thighs towards one another, lifting your chest towards your chin, pressing into the floor to lift a little higher, using the strength of your back body to open through the front. With your next inhale, rise off of the heels, coming onto the balls of your feet. And then as you exhale, slowly lower upper spine, mid spine, low back, heels. As you come back to the floor, take a moment to just rest in stillness. And then finding your block once more, we'll take our block between our upper inner thighs with the shortest end of the block facing toward us. So the smallest part will be directly at our face. And now if you need your knees or legs to be a little bit wider, you can also turn it so that it has more room, more ability for you to squeeze it. And so experiment with that and see what will work best for you. And now Taking the hands back to the floor, tucking shoulders underneath heart, making sure that our hands and feet are nice and stable. We'll press down and using our inhalation, reach up, this time squeezing our block. I like to imagine as though there's some confetti in the block, and if I squeezed it hard enough, I could pop it and enjoy that confetti. So squeeze it like your life depended on it, engaging your inner thigh and groin, helping to activate the glutes a little bit further. Chest lifting here as the shoulders stay under. Squeezing a little bit more, lifting just a little bit higher. Using your next inhale to rise up onto the balls of your feet, and then exhaling slowly, lower back, mid back, tailbone, and then heels. And now from here, we'll go ahead and move our block off to the side, opening your arms up nice and wide beside you in a T shape. With your next exhale, pull both knees in towards your chest. And you may want to scoot your bottom a little bit further away from your shoulders. And now with your knees hugged in towards your chest, we're going to slowly drop them over to the right, keeping them just off the ground here. And then use our inhale to slowly take the knees back to center. Exhale and slowly take the knees towards the left. And then inhale and slowly bring them back to center. Exhale again towards the right. We're going to do 3 rounds of this total. And then inhale and slowly return to center. Exhale towards the left. Keeping your shoulders anchored on the floor, reach out through your fingertips. Inhale back to center. And then exhale slowly towards the right. Last round. Inhaling back to center. Keeping the legs together as though your legs were one. Exhale towards the left. And then last time here, inhale back to center. And now we'll lower our feet flat to the floor. Knees are still bent. Grab your blanket now or your pillow, something that we can use to support our head. And we're going to take this just directly underneath our head, supporting the natural curve of our spine. So it doesn't have to be a very high prop. We don't want to have our chin too close to our chest. We want to keep the front of the throat open and relaxed. And then grabbing your blocks, we'll turn our feet together here, letting the knees fall out towards the long edge of the mat, using our blocks underneath our legs to give our thighs something to rest into. As you feel comfortable in your position, you can place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. If it feels comfortable, allow your eyes to close. Observe your body breathing naturally and see if you can allow your body to breathe you. Taking this opportunity to surrender, allowing you to practice being rather than doing. We'll rest here in silence for the next few moments, and I'll let you know when it's time to return. Rest easy. Begin to deepen your breath. Purposefully taking long, expansive inhales, filling yourself up with energy once more. Noticing what has shifted from the beginning of your practice until now. Noticing that you have created this feeling for yourself and that you can return back to this feeling at any time, that it already lives within inside of you. Beginning to explore movement, giving your fingers a little bit of a wiggle, working your way towards rolling your wrists. And as you feel ready, we can use our hands to gently press our knees back together. And then slowly taking your time, you can roll over to the fetal position on the side of your choice. Again, observing how you're feeling, noticing what you're noticing. Pressing into your top hand, slowly come up to a seated position. Coming onto your bottom, you can sit on your blanket or your blocks once more. One foot can cross in front of the other, or you can cross at the ankles. We'll join our hands together in front of our heart, lifting tall through the crown of the head. Touching our thumbs to the forehead, reminding us to live with an open mind. And then touching our thumbs to our heart, reminding us to love with an open heart. It's been my honor to guide you through your practice today. We can acknowledge one another with Namaste. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now.